Who's video? Put your hands up. We got this comeback should have been possible. I thought should it.
In the NBA Finals is virtually a death sentence. Throughout the 79 final series in NBA history, 38 of them reached the dreaded 3-1 deficit, and only one team has come back from it.
One team.
Puts it up. Let's go. Cleveland is a city of champions once again.
And with that being the case, it was imperative that the San Antonio Spurs won Game 4 on Wednesday night in Madison Square Garden to prevent going down 3-1 in the series and give themselves a real chance to win an NBA title. And that's exactly what they were on track to doing. Through the first half of Game 4, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs put together arguably their best half of the entire season. Record-breaking efficiency, stifling defense, and the first half of basketball so dominant that it earned them the third largest lead going into the half in the history of the finals. 76-49, a 27-point chasm separating them and the New York Knicks. An impossibly large deficit for the Knicks to overcome. In fact, the largest comeback ever achieved in the finals was 24 points. So, barring literally the worst half of basketball in the history of the finals, the Spurs were all but guaranteed to tie up the series going back into San Antonio with the wins at their back.
Spurs had the best half and the worst half.
And all the momentum leading into Game 5. What transpired over the next 24 minutes of game time was literally the worst half of basketball in the history of the finals.
It's gone! It's gone!
The worst half.
It's gone! With 1.2 remaining! Knicks take the lead!
I mean, I don't think the score is that bad.
The Garden. They can't believe it! The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history!
Right.
Today's video was sponsored by SeatGeek.
There you go. Got the analytics. Oh, is that the Knicks' chances of winning?
What you are looking at is a graph of the live win probability from Game 4 of the NBA Finals according to Inpredictable.com. The San Antonio Spurs played so well in the first half that by the end of the first quarter, the Knicks' win probability was already just 17.6%. By halftime, the Knicks' win probability fell to just 1.5%. And with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, their probability of winning this game was just 1%. 1%. Unfortunately for the Spurs, basketball is more than just a game of probability. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a visual representation of the greatest comeback in the history of the finals, and quite possibly the history of the NBA. Because what the Knicks did on Wednesday night wasn't just improbable, it should have been impossible. How in the world did the Knicks pull this off? Well, you have to see it to believe it.
Earlier in the series, Keldon Johnson goes in hard. Can't get it, the tip misses.
The first signs of a catastrophic meltdown by the Spurs all started right about here. With just under 9 minutes left in the third quarter, down
I feel like it started when he got that flagrant foul.
Josh Hart brings the ball down the court and feeds OG Anunoby for an easy dunk. The Knicks playing with a tangible sense of urgency considering their circumstance. The Spurs rebuttal.
Right now.
It's a bad shot. Bro, that's a bad
A contested 25-footer 4 seconds into the shot clock. Tim Legler was on the call, and his commentary on this possession could not have been more spot on.
And right now, Mike Brown doesn't mind those quick threes by the Spurs. Even if they go in, you want to speed this game up to give your team more possessions.
Just moments later, Jalen Brunson hits a three, putting the Knicks on a 7-0 scoring run while Taylor Swift cosplays as an actual Knicks fan. Spurs call a timeout, their game plan still intact. For now. Just a couple possessions later, after a miss from Brunson, the Spurs come down and get into a two-man game with Wemby setting a screen for De'Aaron Fox. Wemby pops out, and Fox passes the ball.
What's up, bro? What up, bro? Hey, sweetie pie!
To absolutely no one.
Here's my sweetie. Hi, why is your beard black? You didn't clean it fucking up?
I was about to.
Was he trying to get out?
Yeah.
And you didn't take him out to go to the bathroom? What is wrong with you? Clean that shit up. Get him out.
I am.
Right now. That makes me mad, NJ.
All right. Come on, Spike. All right, Spike's gonna have to come out. Just bump it off, man.
Knicks ball, we're going the other way. Fortunately for
Actually,
San
bottom out.
Antonio, the Knicks do not convert on this possession, so the Spurs have a chance to come down and extend their lead back up to 25. With another deep, wildly contested three-pointer that, of course, doesn't fall.
Why would you
The
shoot
Knicks,
that
on the
shit,
other
though?
hand,
Why would you shoot that?
and extend their lead back up to 25. With another deep, wildly contested three-pointer that, of course, doesn't fall. The Knicks, on the other hand, come down, move the ball around until they find OG in the corner for this open look. The lead now down to 19. Knicks on a 10-0 run. At this point, one can only assume the Spurs will probably stop shooting early shot clock threes and really get into their half-court offense, right?
Points, Brunson with 22. They've got 44 of the 62. Johnson wide open. Can't hit.
Right. Well, at least on the next possession, the Spurs do a better job at getting into something that resembles a coherent offensive set.
Fox step back three.
It's another highly contested step-back three, and another miss. What's worse than another missed three?
Cornette checks in. Hart
He was so
tries
wide
a
open.
three.
Giving up another three on the other end just 27 seconds later. The Knicks now on a 13-0 run. Eventually, the Spurs got back on track and maintained their lead over the next 6 minutes, slowly working down the clock and holding off the Knicks, which in and of itself was a miracle considering how poorly they were playing. Throughout the third quarter, the Spurs attempted 20 shots. They hit 4 of them. In fact, they had more turnovers than they did made shots in the quarter. At the start of the quarter, the Spurs had a 27-point lead. By the end of it, their lead was just 15. But that was some of the worst basketball the Spurs had played all season, especially considering the first half they just put up. It would take an unprecedented, horrific collapse to follow up that third quarter with an even worse fourth quarter.
Hey,
Cornette checks in. Hart
He
tries a
lost it.
three. Hart hits a three. Suddenly
They had a
it's cut to
1% right there.
16. That's 13 straight points. Alvarado
They're by
tries
20.
a three. Rolls around and drops in. Beautiful pass inside. Bridges banks it home. Shot clock winding down. Towns off the bounce. Step back. Puts up the three. It's good. Alvarado
Tough
and
shot.
Brunson. Anunoby. Three-pointer's good. 6 3-pointers for Anunoby.
You ever watch a game and see some stuff that can only be attributed to what feels like fate? Despite the adjustments, despite the attention to detail or the effort, it just seems like there's an outcome that is destined to happen. This was one of those games. After having one of the greatest offensive halves in playoff history, regardless of the looks the Spurs got, they struggled to get them to fall. And regardless of the looks the Knicks got, they couldn't seem to miss. And after another run from the Knicks, the Spurs lead is now cut to just 11 points. Now, some of this can be attributed to experience. Some of it can be attributed to focus and sticking to a game plan. And some of it is sheer luck. But when you're witnessing a professional basketball player doing a balancing act, tiptoeing the backcourt in the midst of a historic comeback before heaving the ball to the opposing team, one may begin to believe there's a greater force at work here. I am sitting at home on the other side of the country, and I can physically feel the Knicks' momentum from my couch. Coming back down the court, the Knicks got the ball to Cat in the corner, but he's got Wemby on him, the defensive player of the year, one of the best defenders of all time. Surely, he doesn't just go right at him and get another bucket here.
Towns fakes, drives on Wemby, goes inside, stops, flips it up.
I don't know how he
shot is
made that
good.
shit.
Of course he does. The lead, now just 9 points. Madison Square Garden is in mass hysteria. With a chance to swing the game back in their favor, the Spurs come back down the court. And considering their circumstance and what has occurred over the last 18 minutes, do you think they, A, work the ball around until they get a good look? B, feed the ball to their 7'5" alien superstar rolling to the basket? Or C, do the exact same thing that got him into this mess and take another early three-pointer?
Chipping away. Fox picks up his dribble. Champagnie can't get it.
If you said option C, you are correct. But
Why would
look,
you shoot
the
slow?
Spurs forced a turnover on the other end. They've got
slow,
another
right?
chance to build this lead back up on the fast break. Any guesses as to what they will do on this crucial, potentially momentum-swinging possession?
Shoot a three.
Castle may have gotten a piece of it. Fox kicks it out. Vassell, right side, three-pointer, can't get it.
Vassell takes some stupid shots, bro.
You can't make it up. Down on the other end, Jalen Brunson works his magic and makes a tough layup off the glass to shrink the lead to just 7. The Knicks are now on a 17-4 run against the youngest, most inexperienced finals team in league history. Now would probably be a good time to call a timeout.
Fox searching. Anunoby on him. Fox steps back, jump shot, puts it up, can't get it. Wemby
good
tips
shot,
it out of
like-
bounds. Nick Ball.
Or not. The Knicks come back down the other way and immediately set a screen for Brunson. Why is Wemby guarding a 6'0" Jose Alvarado 20 feet away from the basket? I don't know. But after the switch, he's now on Brunson. But now he's dropping back to play strong side help with Champagny in the corner. The Knicks swing the ball to the other wing, and there's Wemby right on time to help. And guarding
Oh, wait.
this corner man is Champagny. But wait, he was supposed to be in the opposite corner, which means someone's open.
Off the bounce. Corner three. Anunoby. Bang! 4-point game. Timeout, San Antonio.
One possession game. Mitch Johnson realizes he has the autonomy to call a timeout. Larry David is losing his mind, and the world is ending. Or at least it feels like it is, if you're a Spurs fan. But there's still hope. After trading a few buckets, the Spurs maintain their 4-point lead until there's about 2:20 left on the clock, and Jalen Brunson hit this three over Wemby.
Shot clock at 5. Brunson fires up a three. Puts it in. 1-point game. This building is shaking right now.
You ever see a dagger that wasn't a game winner or a go-ahead bucket? Well, you just did, because it is now just a 1-point game, and the Spurs are in a state of shock. How do I know this? Because on the very next possession, De'Aaron Fox, the team veteran, a starting point guard in the NBA Finals, did this.
Him up now, Karl-Anthony Towns. Fox throws it away.
After 2 quarters of some of the most appalling basketball you've ever seen, this should have been the nail in the coffin for the Spurs and their hopes of winning this game.
Josh Hart ahead of the pack, lays it up. Lost. Oh, he missed the layup.
But it wasn't. Miraculously, Josh Hart missed this wide-open layup that would have put the Knicks up by 1. And despite their best efforts to lose it, the Spurs still have the lead. And on the very next possession, Wemby gets fouled and sent to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Now, Wemby is an excellent free throw shooter with a career playoff free throw percentage of 85%. He's also the future face of the NBA in a potential legacy-defining moment of his career. Under most circumstances, this trip to the line would put the Spurs up by 3 points. But this is far from most circumstances.
And got that up on the glass. Credit Castle for creating those footsteps behind him. Wembanyama misses a free throw. The greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. Missed them both.
0 for 2. The lead, still just 1 point. Or at least, it was.
At 6, Castle on him now. Brunson, stutter dribble, drives inside, goes
So
up,
they took the lead,
floaters
right?
up. It's good! The Knicks take the lead with 1:22 remaining.
For the first time throughout this entire game, the Knicks take the lead with just over a minute left on the clock. If this game ended right here, what you just witnessed is already the most improbable, most unbelievable sequence of events in the history of the finals. But somehow, despite there being just a minute 22 left on the clock, this game is far from over. Thanks to a pair of free throws from Stephon Castle, the Spurs regain a 1-point lead with just 30 seconds left on the clock. And on the very next possession, this happens.
Kicks it out in the corner. Brunson gets it back.
Hey, this is
Brunson
it,
on the
yeah.
drive. The floater's up. Shot won't go. Rebound deflected. In the backcourt. Fox has a chance to get
Probably the
it.
dumbest shot ever.
NBA players are the best basketball players on the planet. In spite of this, they still often make mistakes. And in the finals, these mistakes tend to live on in infamy. For every great, career-defining playoff moment, there are equally as many infamous blunders that stick with a player long after they retire. What you're about to witness is one of those mistakes.
Fox has it inside, blocked by Anunoby. 9 seconds remaining. 6 seconds remaining. And Mike Brown, will they call a foul?
With less than 14 seconds on the clock, the Spurs were up by 1 with possession of the ball. De'Aaron Fox could have wasted time off the clock and forced the Knicks to foul. He could have called a timeout. He could have cleared it out and passed it to a teammate. Instead, he went up for a layup and got blocked, giving the Knicks one more chance to win this
foul,
game.
but
But of all the unlikely things to occur in this game to bring us to this point, converting on a bucket with less than 6 seconds on the clock, down 1, in the finals is about as unlikely as any. Dating back to 1997, the beginning of the play-by-play era, there have only been 6 go-ahead baskets in the finals with less than 6 seconds left in the game. All 6 of these buckets cemented as some of the most clutch, legacy-defining moments in modern NBA history. Even after their historic, unprecedented comeback, the Knicks still had to pull off what has only happened 6 times in the last 30 years. What are the odds that they can pull it off? About as unlikely as everything that led them to this point.
He might just go flat for Jalen Brunson, allow him to operate at the top, 101. Brunson gets it, fires up a 3. Shot no good, the chip, it's gone!
That was like a dumb shot by Bush. I'm not gonna lie. That was a dumb shot.
With 1.2 remaining.
But no one's gonna talk about it. That was a dumb shot, but no one's gonna talk about it.
Lead. OG Anunoby, and it's 107-106. Bedlam here at the Garden. They can't believe it. The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. The Knicks pull off the miracle comeback and lead it 3-1. Now 1 win away from a title.
And that, my friends, is the greatest comeback in NBA history.
And while I was watching the game, I didn't realize that was the greatest comeback. And the end there was. I kind of agree with him. And that's it. I might hop on the game later. I don't know for sure, but I probably will. See y'all later.